Today, we're going to explore a case that epitomizes one of the 7 deadly sins and the evil that follows its pursuit. Paula Chin was a successful businesswoman, loving mother, and kind friend with 0 enemies. So when it was discovered by authorities that her disappearance was the result of someone she loved methodically planning and executing her murder, everyone was shocked and couldn't understand why. Paula Chin lived in New York City in the trendy neighborhood of Tribeca, located in Lower Manhattan. She and her late husband purchased a property at 17 Vestry Street in 1987 and moved into the top floor apartment. This is where they settled and would go on to raise their 2 sons. They were very successful as a couple. They operated a school supply distribution business and collected rent from tenants in their building. The tragedy would first strike the family in 2008 when her husband, Philip, passed away from lung cancer. This was obviously devastating to the family and left Paula the sole caregiver to their 2 adolescent boys and primary duties in their multi-million-dollar businesses and investments. After the death of her husband, she and her sons became very close. Even as they got older, they went on family vacations often, and she was very involved with their lives. So on February 4th, 2019, when she hadn't been seen or heard from in days, she was reported missing. Police first spoke with her 2 sons. Her eldest son, Brandon, was 25 and no longer lived at home. Her younger son, Jared, was 22 and told police he hadn't seen her since January 31st and that she hadn't returned his many phone calls and text messages. They notified police that this was extremely out of character for their mom. Although she was a busy woman, she always answered them. The boys told police how they had just taken one of their family vacations to Mexico City earlier in January to celebrate their mom's retirement at 65 years old. They noted that upon the family's return to New York, each of them were as happy as ever. But things would begin to surface that would reveal just the opposite. On the outside, they had a perfect life. The boys enjoyed a privileged life growing up in Manhattan and going to highly selective schools. Jared would say that their mom gave them everything. If he wanted money, she'd give it. Paula also found time to volunteer with many different organizations, and they still maintained their closeness, talking daily. By Friday, February 1st, Brandon was concerned he hadn't heard from his mother since Wednesday, January 30th. He contacted his younger brother, Jared, who he knew still lived at home, asking if he had heard from her or seen her, and Jared shared his same concerns. So when Monday, February 4th came, and there was no report filed, and nobody had heard from Paula, her son Brendan frantically went to police. Police would search the apartment she shared with Jared, and suspicions would rise whenever bloodstains would be found inside the apartment. Brandon was desperate to find his mother, so he allowed police to search Paula's 2004 Toyota Land Rover. What police would find in the car would only raise alarm more. In the back of the car, they found Paula's clothes she was wearing, blood stains, a blanket, and duct tape. After this gut-wrenching discovery, Brandon knew his brother had not been honest with him, and police immediately sought out Jared for questioning. But he claimed no involvement and declared he wanted to clear his name. However, evidence was mounting. It was discovered that he had been fighting with his mother and she was wanting to ground him, and he supposedly felt like she had too much control over him. Upon learning about their difficult relationship, police found that he had begun changing passwords on her accounts and looking for inheritance lawyers. But without a body, the police had to let him go. But his luck was about to run out. Police promptly obtained a search warrant for Paula's weekend home, located in Morristown, New Jersey, about 30 miles from their city apartment. Bloodstains were spotted on the garage floor. Also found were bloody rubber gloves and duct tape that matched the tape found in the Land Rover. Finally, police would make a gruesome discovery that would absolutely devastate those that knew and loved Paula Chin. The day after she was reported missing, her body was found inside a trash bag, inside a garbage container on her property. Her son Jared was arrested immediately. At this point, Paula had been found, a heinous crime had clearly been committed, but there was so much evidence and details that were yet to be discovered. Jared maintained his innocence, claiming he loved his mother, he would never hurt her, etc., etc. He even went as far as saying he was concerned for his brother's safety, telling police he believed the killer would go after Brandon next. During the next few days, the investigation would uncover evidence that not only destroyed their family, but also devastated two others. After viewing security footage and seizing Jared's phone, police learned that he had help in disposing of his mother's body. Now, Jared was a self-proclaimed polyamorous, and he immediately contacted his two girlfriends after killing his mother, sending texts like, "It's done, I'm free, got rid of the problem." The two women, 18-year-old Jennifer Lopez and 21-year-old Caitlin O'Rourke, responded to his text messages asking him if he needed help cleaning up. The three of them discussed on a group phone call how they would get rid of Paula's body. Surveillance video outside of the building that Paula owned shows a woman fitting Jennifer's description backing Paula's Land Rover into the parking space outside of the building on January 31st at 2:30 in the morning, and it shows Jared walking out with what appears to be a duffel bag and loading it into the trunk of the car. The police brought the two women in for questioning and were able to get full confessions from both of them. Caitlin told police the night of the murder, Jared called her and confessed to killing his mother by slitting her throat, saying she, quote, took a while to die. Jennifer confessed to going to the apartment that night to clean everything and help him transport the body to the New Jersey home because Jared couldn't drive. She even sent texts to Caitlin saying, quote, it's all clean. The hardest part was backing up the car. Once in New Jersey, the three of them attempted to dispose of her body by stuffing it in the trash. They then attempted to clean the scene and wash bloody clothes they brought from the Manhattan apartment at the New Jersey home. Up until the women confessed to their involvement, Jared continued to deny he killed his mother, stating he went to New Jersey to get a coin collection. Like, seriously? But anyway, their confession, along with damning evidence recovered from his phone, including searches for how to dispose of a body and, quote, DIY bone meal, were enough to charge him in the murder of his mother, Paula Chin. He later pleaded guilty on September 16, 2022, admitting what medical examiners already knew. He had beat his mom with an object and stabbed her repeatedly, as well as slitting her throat. A horrific end to a woman who loved her kids beyond measure. At his sentencing, he expressed remorse, saying that his mother deserved happiness, grandchildren, and above all, a better son. Now, the judge acknowledged his remorse, but stated what I think we can all agree on, which is, how can we even know if he's sincere? Like, this was such a brutal and heinous crime. But regardless, the crime itself was worthy of the maximum, which was 22 to life, and he did get that. His two accomplices have yet to be sentenced, but they're looking at charges including concealing a human corpse and tampering with evidence, both felonies. Honestly, I hope they get put away for a long time. I know that they are young and they were kind of blinded by the fact that he promised them like this fantastic life with the millions of dollars he was about to get, but anyone who can just so easily help someone dispose of a body and say something like backing up the car was the hardest part, like, they need to be put away for a long time. So I'll put out an update whenever they get sentenced. Hopefully it's fitting of the crimes that they committed. So that brings us to the end of the case of the murder of Paula Chin. Unfortunately, it's just another classic case of greed. A selfish, greedy son killed his loving mother just because he couldn't wait to get his hands on the millions of dollars that he was to inherit. I would love to know what you think about his statement claiming remorse and, the fate of the two women that helped him. Do you think that they're going to get what they deserve? What do you think they deserve? It still hasn't unfolded yet, so that part is kind of interesting. In addition to that, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.